That's me. It's about that time. Monday, 10 a.m. is my new showtime. So stay tuned. Check in regularly. I'm looking to keep doing these weekly every Monday at 10. Seems like the best time for me and everybody else. So thank you and welcome to a short conversation. It's the holidays. We've got less than a week now till Christmas, and I hope everyone is, if not ready, then getting ready. I am not ready, but then again, I'm never ready. Um, let's get right to it. I shared a story earlier this week about Christmas and kindness, and I'm going to recap that really quick, just in case anybody missed it, because it's something that I learned a lesson that from a stranger that I should have already known and shouldn't need to be taught. Um, so Merry Christmas, everyone! And if you don't know, I'm Ken. And when I'm not making comics, I have like a seasonal gig for some extra Christmas money, working the calendar set at the mall. It's easy work, it's quick money, um, and I like it. It's fun. It's not hard. And I'm one of those weird people that genuinely likes customer service, usually, and I like helping people find what they need. But every now and then, working in retail, you have a day, and you have some customers that kind of get to you. And the other day, I was having one such day. Um, Not common for me, but honestly, it was just the pressure of the holidays and uh, customers that day was just kind of bugging me. So worked a long day on my own, no break. So I was like ready to go home at the end of my shift. Um, so at the calendar set, we wrap everything up at the end of the night because it's out in the middle of the mall, and just wrap it up with tarps, lock up the money and stuff, and then we go. So at the end of the day, last part of my shift, and I would just wrap up, cash out, and bail. But I'd worked all day, didn't have a bathroom break, so took this chance to secure everything and then run to the bathroom before I cashed out and ended my day. So there's tarps, black tarps, wrapping up all the stuff so customers can't get at it. And when I came back from the bathroom, and I'm in a foul mood, some customers had just drained my Christmas cheer that day. It's one of those days where I just didn't want to deal with any more people. I just wanted to go home and recharge my batteries. So I come out back to my set to cash out, and there's a guy who's peeking into my calendars, and in my head I'm just like, son of a bitch. I want to go home. I don't want to wait on anybody. I don't know this guy, but I already feeling very negative, and you know I just kind of didn't want to deal with it. My shift was over. I shouldn't have to, right? So I go and start doing my cashing out, and I saw him there, and rather than go up to him and engage him, because I knew if I engaged him, that would mean he wants something, and I already have everything closed up, and I didn't want to undo it all and help him. And it was a little selfish of me, I know, not a good customer service thing, and there's no excuse. But I was just done. My day was like over. So I start cashing out, and I'm kind of ignoring him. I'm like, if he wants something, he can come and ask me. And but that doesn't sit well with me. So as I'm starting to cash out, I'm even counting my money. I'm in the middle of my closing procedure, and I see him. He knows I'm there, and so okay, I can't ignore this guy. So I just kind of engaged him. Hi, how you doing? Yeah, we're closing. He says, I looking for one specific calendar, and I'm like, okay. I mean, I'm closed, but let me know if what it is. Maybe we have. Maybe if I know what it is, maybe I can help you. Probably not, but maybe. And he's describing this teapot. He's a very specific decorative teapot calendar, like ceramics and fancy ornate um, teapot painting. And there's it's photographs of this artwork on teapots. And I'm like, I've never seen this before in my life. I'm positive we don't have it. I don't think so at all. We had just gotten a shipment the day before that I didn't put out, so there's some things in there. And I thought, all right. The other thing I don't like to do ever is brush off a customer who's asking. And when you go somewhere and they're like, no, we don't have it, and they didn't even look. But I mean, most of the time they know, but sometimes it just feels like they're being brushed off. So I was going through the motions I'd already ignored him a little bit, and I felt bad about it. So I opened up my curtain, and I said, if we have it, I know where it would be. I'll look in just that section. I figured I'd compromise that way. So I looked for it. Sure enough, I found it. I'll be damned. The teapot calendar was right there, and um, I hadn't cashed out yet. So I'm like, well, okay. I opened up. You got it. Um, he said he drove 40 miles to come here and just for this one calendar. He gets it every year, and I hear that every day. I hear it all the time. Everybody gets a certain calendar from the Go calendar set. So I'm like, okay, well, okay, cool. He said, how many you got? I got 3. I'll take them all. You got 4. I said, no, I got 3. And now I'm like, why do you need 3? And so now that I'm engaged in, the story goes, his wife painted decorative calendars or decorative teapots. That was her thing. It was her hobby. Um, and so it meant something. Uh, and she passed away several years ago. Every year, as a remembrance, he gets this same brand of calendar for him and his 3 daughters. So they all have one to remember mom by. And now I'm like, okay, this is, Weeby. This old guy who I was at first really annoyed by his presence and having to wait on him. Now kind of cheered me up, made my Christmas feel a little bit better, like because I had this for him. And now I only had 3, not 4, but that's enough for all 3 of his daughters. And he's very happy. He even bought another calendar of dogs because it looked like his dog. And he talked my ear off for a little while, but it was fine. I was happy to stay late and listen to him because his story was touching, and I was happy to be able to help because he was really happy to at least be able to get the calendars for his kids. As a dad, I'm understanding that. I mean, he wanted one for himself, but as a dad, I put my daughter first, so he's thinking at least okay, I don't have the thing for me, but I've got my kids covered, and this is important. So the moral of my story is, and I'm not done with this guy because I'm still on the search for another calendar. I found one in Flint. It's a really long drive for him. So we're still kind of trying to figure out if we're going to get more in before Christmas and how I can get him one more calendar. Which he could order online, but long story. So my moral of my story is I'm always preaching like be kind, that kindness is king and it matters. And you don't always know who you're going to touch or who you're going to help. Um, and I was having a day where I just didn't want to. And we all get that sometimes, don't we? We all feel sometimes like we just don't want to. I don't want to deal with the world. I don't want to talk to people. I don't want to share any of my energy, my precious energy, my precious like life positivity. Like we hold on to it sometimes. Um, and I almost didn't help this guy, and he wouldn't have driven back. And he didn't know the phone number to call, and he wouldn't have known where to help. And we don't have a lot of these sets this year. We don't have one in Bay City. We don't have one in Birch Run, and we don't have one in Midland. And so the guy is from Carroll, and was just desperate and just drove this way. And I was just glad to help him, and it made my day, made me feel special. His story meant something to me. So now that story that means something to that family touches me, and I shared this story, and it has touched other people. And so my message for Christmas is this is when we're supposed to be kind, and this is when we're supposed to recharge our batteries, not just from the day, but from the whole year. And that's what I think Christmas is. That's what Christmas is for me. It's a time to remember family, to remember kindness, to remember what's important. The holidays in general, from Thanksgiving through Christmas and New Year's, is like the time to soak in that love and that sharing and that positivity that the rest of the year tries to take away from us. And I wish we had it all year round, and we try, but let's be honest, I think most of us fall short most of the year, especially the last couple of years. And without talking about politics or COVID today, I just want to say, I mean, it's been a drain on all of us. And if you can do something to cheer up somebody else or to bring light to somebody else or make somebody else smile, that helps you in ways you can't even measure. So that was my Christmas story. I'm not done with it yet. I will update when I find this calendar, and I will find this calendar. I took the guy's phone number, called him already to find out how we might get him one. And so far, the only one I found is a little too far away, but it's a mission now at this point. I wish I had time to myself to drive to Flint and pick it up for him, but the holidays are really busy for me too, especially since I'm working a full-time gig right now. So there's my holiday cheer. A little bit of holiday story. Maybe we'll make a country song out of it, like a Christmas shoes or something. So I'm enjoying my Christmas background. I'm feeling very festive, and I don't have an ugly Christmas sweater, but I figured this was close enough. What I do have is my From Blood shirt. Checks out. All right, From Blood. Represent Cosmic Times. Hit cosmictimes.net, where you can get the latest issues of all their books. They're coming out soon with King Arthur series reboot. Cosmic Times was my first publisher. My first paid comic book professional gig was for this book, From Blood, #2. It has since been turned into a 3-part story, recently released on Kickstarter, had a really successful run on Kickstarter, and now is in Previews magazine and available to order through Diamond or every comic book store in the country. So that's pretty exciting for me. So thank you to Martin Piero, Zach Bassett, James Wynot for being part of that team and making that book happen and making me part of that, because it's been almost a decade now since then, and I still feel like part of the Cosmic Times family. So thank you guys, love you. In addition to From Blood, I want to share some other people. One of the books I'm working on now as a letterer is Global Defense Force #4. If you follow me at all, you know that I was the original artist on the first Global Defense Force. Writer Brian Hitzman from Saginaw, Michigan hired me years ago, and with this one idea in mind, to bring his story to life, to make it a comic book. He had written these stories, and his story was very touching to me, and that's his to tell, so I'll let him tell it sometime. But part of making his dream come true of making real comics in real time, and paper comics to be in stores, and he's had initiative like hell, and he's taken it on. We've done issues 1, 2, and 3, and then an anthology, and now we're on issue 4. And I've been involved in every issue in some way. Now, I was the original artist and publisher for issue #1. I was the penciler, colorist, and letterer and cover artist on that one. Issue #2, I did everything, which was fun. Issue #3, I was real busy, so I ended up being just coloring and lettering with my man Mohammed Lubis, the great Lubisan, taking over art duties. And now this issue really went on without me. I mean, we're all branching out, and I was real busy, but he was kind enough to invite me on, and I really just wanted to be part of the team still. So I'm doing the lettering for that issue, and that'll be the 4th installment of Global Defense. So check out Brian and Mohammed and Global Defense Force. Shout out to my man Ted Davies. Ted Davies Artistry just is wrapping up his second Kickstarter for Grimm 101, issue #2. It's amazing. It's an amazing weird tale. I don't even know how to describe it. I'm not going to try because I'm not as great a writer as Ted. But trust me, Ted Davies Artistry. Follow him on YouTube. He has about 200 YouTube shows where he talks about watches and cigars and comics, and he interviews artists like me. He's had me on the show several times. And he's a big supporter of, let me give you Ted here. Ted's a big supporter of other artists, and I find that inspiring. And so he's used his platform to elevate me a little, and even gotten me into doing shows like this, just by the sheer force of his example and some tips and tricks, and letting me know some tools I could use, like the streaming service and stuff. So I wouldn't be here doing this without Ted Davies. So thanks, Ted, and I wish you much success. And follow him because he's got a lot more stuff going on. He's got other projects, and he's got developments in the works, and there may be some live action shows or animated shows, or so, like there may be shows. Ted just does everything. and he mixes drinks, and he's got a podcast, and he's involved in. He's one of the truth mongers where they do they investigate not conspiracy theories per se, but certain things like mysteries of the pyramids and wonders of the world and stuff that's unexplained, UFOs and stuff. It's a very comprehensive and interesting show because it's not like crazy foil hats or something. It's really investigating things and things that are unexplained, and I love it. So it's a lot of fun to watch, or even put on in the background. I like to put on and listen to while I draw or something or clean house. Because as visually interesting as Ted is to look at, it's also just as much fun to listen to. What else? For me, I'm working on the Global Defense Force lettering. Taking this day job for the calendars has set my art back a little bit, but not a ton. Still working on completing the next comic book Kickstarter, which is hatched. So there's more art coming for that. I don't have anything. I have some old pictures here because I have some variant covers in the works, and a lot of it is really just polishing and repurposing some older artwork. So that's just coming soon. And I'd like everybody to just watch out for that because it's coming January 2022, which I know is almost here. But there's also shipping shortages or shipping delays and paper shortages. So I'm going to be sending out an update when I have a better idea of estimated delivery for Hatched. But trust me, I will keep you posted and I will deliver that book as quickly as I can get it in my hands. And if you don't get it from me, if you didn't get it on the Kickstarter, wait, there's more. Because as announced previously, I am going to be showcasing at the Midland Mall Comic-Con, which coming March 5th and 6th. Big thanks to Paul King at Fett's Toy Depot for getting me in on this and putting this on, and Ted Davies for letting me know about it. It's a great local show. Local Midland's not very far from me here in Bay City, so I'm excited to do this show because I don't have a lot of expenses to cover. So I'm really just going to be enjoying, relaxing, and it's a big deal. It takes up the mall, and there's like reading here, like there's laser tag or laser combat and cosplay and guests and panels and toys and collectibles and comics and art by me. I'll be doing live drawing all weekend. It's a fantastic time. So haven't done a convention in a long time, certainly since before COVID. So it's been a couple of years, and I'm excited to do something more in person now. Not going to talk about COVID today because I'm trying to stay positive, and COVID really bummed me out. But barring any unforeseen explosions in the pandemic, I'll be masked, vaccinated, and looking forward to seeing people in person for live drawing at the mall. Should be nice. Should be wide open and easy. I'm checking my list, making my list. I made my list, so I'm checking it twice. So I'll make sure I talk about everything I want to talk about today. We're at 20 minutes, and there's a lot going on. This is my day off, and it's Christmas, and I have some preparations to do, gifts to wrap, and decorating and stuff. I don't know what Christmas means to you, but to me, there are certain things that I have to have for my Christmas season to feel complete, and those are traditions. One of them is decorating gingerbread houses with Emily. It's something she wants to do, and I love to do. And goofy as it is, and they turn out terrible. And but it's just traditions. Some of the certain things I want to make sure that I fit into the season, so that I feel like we enjoyed as much Christmas as we could. I'm happy to be working and bringing some extra money for it. And the money is good, but it's also important to fit in those things. And if we don't make time for important things, then what good is money? And keep a roof over my head. But if you're just working for money's sake, or if you're just treading water, that's not enough. We have to do more than just exist. So I'm excited. Speaking of which, I'm not going to spoil Spider-Man. I'm not going to talk about Spider-Man much, except to say it was awesome and we loved it. And there's a lot of talk about spoilers, and we wanted to see it opening weekend, right? I'm working a lot. My wife's working full time. Emily's been in school. Now she's out of school. But also there's this other stuff like Sundays are cookie days. That's another Christmas tradition, cookie day with the family. So they spend the day baking Christmas cookies. And you don't want to give that up to go see a movie. Besides which, I was working. So we were trying to figure out how we were going to see the movie this weekend before somebody spoiled it for us for one way or another. And let me tell you, if somebody has spoiled it for you, they haven't, because there's not just like any one thing about this movie that is spoiler worthy. I mean, unless someone has explained the whole movie to you, there's plenty to be surprised by and excited for, and it was a great ride. It was a ton of fun. I can't wait to go see it again. If there were time, I would go see it today. But I mean, it's Christmas. So we this weekend, fun story though. We didn't have time to see the movie, but we wanted to, and we just didn't have our schedules matching up. So Emily had dance on Tuesday. We had a Toys for Tots um, charity event. Speaking of traditions, her dance studio, Shining Star, every year participates in a Toys for Tots fundraiser, and we weren't missing that. So that was most of our Saturday. Now they got out early enough to go see the movie, but I had to work. So what we did was we figured out we had them, two of them. The girls went in the day, an early evening after the dance event, and then I had to work till like 9 o'clock. So I went to a quick 9:30 show in Saginaw, right next to where I was, Fashion Square Mall. So they watched it earlier, and I watched it later, and then we talked about it Sunday morning. Um, so that was fun. We know, and I think at first I was kind of bummed, and I'm still, I missed having them all there. We like seeing these things together. We're a big Marvel family. Okay. Um, Star Wars being part of the Marvel family now. Um, but we fit it in. We decided what was important to us, and we found a way. So I think that's sort of a metaphor for our whole Christmas season. Just figuring out how to get the things we need to get in to enjoy life a little bit, and not just work, eat, sleep, work, eat, sleep, work, eat, sleep. And that feels like sometimes that's all it is. I know Emily with school and dance, she feels like that's her whole life is work, eat, sleep, work, eat, sleep, work, eat, sleep. But we fit in the things that are important to us. So, and then I think it's important to take a moment and appreciate that. So do that. So we've done that. Saw Spider-Man, see Spider-Man. Unless you don't want to see Spider-Man, in which case, don't go see Spider-Man. But if you're even remotely interested, I gotta tell you, this was an amazing experience. I have not felt this cool about a movie in a very long time. I haven't felt this excited about Spider-Man since I was a kid. It's just tremendously enjoyable. That's all I'm gonna go for with that. Um, oh, last but not least, so last week I shared with you a Christmas drawing that I was working on that we ended up making into a coloring page for the Sky Princess. Now, my new publisher, Earth Team Green, um, we're about eight pages away. We're almost done with this issue, issue number 1 of Sky Princess. And I was just kind of tooling around with some Christmas drawings. You've seen I've worked on some Spider-Man and Hulk, and really just throwing things together for fun of the season. And I thought, why not do a Christmas thing for our main character, the Sky Princess? And it really was just something I was goofing around with, and shared with my publisher. He liked it, he loved it, and he wanted to make it into a coloring page. I said, well, let's do that. And I inked it up, threw the logos on there, made that happen. But I was so into it, I couldn't wait. And we decided to also make a colored version of it, and I want to share it today. And if you've seen my social media, then you've seen this already. But if you haven't, and if not, why not? So here's the Sky Princess in full color. Her superhero powers, flying high above the world, presumably helping out Santa, bringing toys to all the good boys and girls who recycle. So you guys have seen everything I've got going on. I'm going to cut it short because I got some holiday cheer to make sure happens before Friday. So my day is very busy. I hope that you take care of yourself. I hope that you take care of each other. and protect what you love. But lead with kindness, and always lead with kindness. And like I told you in my story earlier, we all have a bad day, and that's okay. I wasn't even, I'm not trying to beat myself up over it, although I still feel bad that I was in a mood where my bad day was affecting someone else. And I need to remember that. And think you should remember that too, that energy is infectious and negative energy is infectious. If you watch the news too much and all the time, you get dragged into a negativity largely, or social media. It can drag you into negativity, but you can also do the same thing with positivity. So this guy sharing his Christmas story with me made me feel very positive, and I want to share that with you. And it's a cycle, it's a tapestry, and I say that all the time. Tapestry. We are a tapestry. So thank you for watching. I hope to share some more with you. Next time after Christmas, we'll do a live drawing, and I'll share some of the new global defense stuff with you. Any questions or comments or requests, hit me up in the comments. Follow me on social media, and I don't feel like doing a lot of plugging today. I just want everybody to be as happy as they can be, because these are really tough times. And I'm sure we say that at the end of every year. These have really been tough times the last couple of years. So take care of yourselves, be safe, and Merry Christmas and Happy Holidays.